is Colombo Save Victor Roll. How's everybody doing today? Amazing, I hope. It is another video from your older than average YouTuber here on the YouTubes. And it is that time of month again. It is the first of the month, and it is collab time with my Name Twin Makeup Therapy, and that is Manuela. If you haven't checked her channel, definitely do that. She is so sweet. And we are doing our 2 palette looks, and this month's twist is we've got some questions that we are going to answer, so I look forward to seeing hers. We are playing with the BH Cosmetics Sweet Shop Pistachio and the Arrtitude Cosmetics Maneater Untamed. So if you want to see the looks that I create and Manuela creates on her channel, you're in the right place. And you know what you need to do? You need to keep on watching. This one should be fun. I like answering questions. I'll put the questions down below in case you would like to play with the same palettes or 2 other palettes and answer some questions with a friend or friends and do your own video of this. And if you do, please tag me down below so I can watch them. Okay, so my hair's not perfect today, but we're okay. So I did everything else. I'm meeting friends for coffee today, and I thought, well, this is the perfect time to start my video for August and have it ready to roll. So here we are. So again, we're playing with the pistachio from the Sweet Shop collection. This is, I think, the only one I got from this collection. I did want more. I really liked the blue one. I thought really looked nice, and there was one other, I think a yellowy one, something that I really liked, but this was the one I was dying for. It took me a while to get it, but I did get it. I want to say near to the end of BH Cosmetics being BH Cosmetics and not owned by, is it Revolution or Beauty Bay? I think it's, I can't remember. Revolution maybe? Yeah. Anywho, you know I love greens, so we're going to play with that, and then we're also going to play with Damn Them. They have a release coming. I'm really excited to see what it looks like. Hoping it's not tempting. Trying not to overconsume, and I'm overconsuming. It's terrible, though I love it. Okay, so Arrtitude Cosmetics. This is the Maneater Untamed. Look at that. There's the little claws. There's our little Maneater. And this is the color story here. So these ones here, I'll just put the case on the floor. I have a cute little rolling cart now, but I just thought, since I already did my base, I don't need to do that. But anywho, these are definitely, well, except for this shade, these are definitely more on the, almost more pastel-y, and these ones seem to be a bit more vibrant, at least the mattes do. So I think this will be a great mix together. So I'm going to put on my base, and then, or my primer, and then as I put on my primer, we can answer the first question. And the first question is, if you could be any age for the rest of your life, what would you choose? Now, we have age questions. Manuela picked 4 or created 4, and I created 4. They're not all makeup related, so there you go, as the first question can tell you. Alrighty, so what age, if I could be one age forever, what would it be? It's funny, when I was a kid, you know, when we played house or, you know, whatever, when we're kids, I always wanted to be 29. 29 was before 30. In your 20s, 29 seemed to be a good answer. I want to say I was happiest in my 40s. 50 has been a little bit more of a struggle bus, because the menopause issues and post-menopause are real. But physically, I think I was a little bit more happier in my mid-20s. But you know what? I think I'm gonna go with 29. That was a number I've always liked. I think that's a good age. You're not too young, you're not too old. You know, so if I was a vampire and I could stay at 29, that was for the rest of your life, right? If you could be any age for the rest of your life, yeah, 29. I think that would be a good age. 25 was pretty good too. Actually, I was in the midst of working in record stores, so I definitely did like my 25, but I think I'm going to stick with 29, I think, and I was 29 again for a good 10 years or so. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with a 29. Alrighty. So there is my primed eye. Again, with the Prime is Everything, it's almost gone. Then I just got the black one, and then I got a couple other primers I'm trying to finish off, and then it will be using some favorites. I have two favorites. I have a Colored Rain, which I really like, and I have a Kaleidos, which I really like, that I haven't used yet, so which I'm dying to get back to. Though I do love the Prime is Everything. I do like this formula of it not being liquidy. I quite like it, and it looks really good, and it's mixed with every eyeshadow. I've not had a problem with any eyeshadows. Okay, so of course we are going to want to start with the darkest first, and I'm going to try to be very careful. Again, I have my base on. I think my base turned out really good today. That Nakia Joy powder is really nice. It's a slightly drier than my Fenty Beauty Lavender powder, which I really like. But this Velvet Brightening powder, I think, looks really good. So I think it's a very close tie at them being my favorites. I think I like both of them. Of course, the Fenty one is a little easier to get, but rumor mill that maybe there's a foundation coming from Nakia Joy, and if she is, I might want to try it, so I may pick up more powder. But we will see. Okay, so now the darkest green, so I'm going to try and stick all green. I think we're not going to mix any other color into here. I'm going to use the one, I think the one from the pistachio one is definitely darker. So we're going to go with that one, Cone or Cup. So we are going with Cone or Cup, and we're going to do that first. Let me get a slightly floofy brush. I'm just using my jar of brushes that need to be washed. They've only been used once or twice. So I'm going to see if I can find enough brushes in here to use, because I know I have to wash these probably tonight, but I don't want to add to my list. Alrighty, we're going to do a nice green look. I'm going to, for coffee, so it's going to be one of my best friends, my cat mama friend, and her son. She just got back from Europe. I watched her chunky cat. You may have seen Gatsby in the last few of my videos if you watched them. Her husband and Carter picked him up, so I haven't seen my friend in a few weeks. So we were planning just to go for a nice coffee, chinwag, and then she asked if Carter could come, and of course Carter could come. He is the smartest little boy. Oh my gosh. He is definitely going to be like a scholar or something. He's just absolutely brilliant, just so well-rounded. I am not a kids person. There's a very few kids I like, my god kids, and two of my friends have really more, maybe it's because they're more adult acting, I don't know, while still being a child. Like, I'm not to say that they're growing up too fast or anything. My friend Odette's daughter Scarlett is also another amazing child, and then Carter is just so well-rounded. He loves to read books. He's a huge Queen fan, Tom Holland fan as well. So like just a really, really nice kid. Like I said, likes to do reading and art and loves music, but then also likes to do archery with his dad and go camping and walking the dog and snuggling the cat. He is just like a really, really nice young man. Yeah, his parents are doing really, really good. So of course he can come. So yeah, so they can both tell me all about their trip while we have coffee, and it's our local weekly market, so I thought we could go to the market as well, walk around with a cup of coffee maybe, and something nice and cool for the Carter. Alrighty, let's see if we got another question here. It says here, what is your favorite animal? Well, that's easy. I own two of them and would have a house full. It's going to be cats, but I love all animals. I am definitely an animal person. I've had dogs and birds growing up. I had birds when I was in my early to mid 20s. Kind of tempted to get birds again in a few years. Or hopefully a lot more years. But my cats are 18-ish, 19-ish. So I'm already very lucky. I do love dogs. The dogs in the office mostly. Well, I haven't had dogs in the office for a while, so the one main doggo got the cookies I had in the drawer. Made her mom take them home, but I should bring them again some more the next time I'm in. I do love doggos. I love birds, wild animals. I love like panthers. I think are so amazing. I'd love to meet, what are they called? I never know if I can pronounce them. Quackers? They're those cute little animals off that one, I think it's Australian island, that just loves people and comes up to people. They're very cute. But anyways, but of course I'm a cat mama. And I always consider, everybody's like, oh, aren't you going to get a dog next when the girls are gone? And I think about it, and every time I watch somebody else's dog and they're all full of piss and vinegar, as they say, and I'm just like, too much energy. I like the laid back energy of cats, but if I fell in love with a nice laid back doggo like my boss's dog Summer, I could totally see myself having a dog again. And I do like having birds. I had them all through my childhood, mostly budgies and cockatiels, but we have a sanctuary out here that had to rescue birds from another sanctuary when the owner passed, so I wouldn't mind getting like a parrot or a cockatoo, an older one of course, because you know they live a long time. But if one of those liked me, then maybe I would do that too. So you know, there's options, but I love my girls and I want them as long as they want to be here with me. So there we go. Alrighty, so there is copper cone. Just trying to see if I got the right shape on both sides. Maybe, I think I have this one over just a little bit farther, so that'll be perfect. Okay, so there we go. That is cone or cup. Alrighty, so we answered the first two questions. So let's pick another color before we answer the next question. So I think I'm going to take another kind of, okay, I'm going to take the next darkest green, I think, just to add a little bit, and then I will go to a lighter shade. Oh, there we go, my magnifying glass. This one is the shade Nocturnal. So we're going to go with a little bit of a Nocturnal next in the Maneater palette. You know what, I'm going to use the same brush. I like it. This is my one and only P. Louise brush. I was very naughty and I signed up for the list for the big Christmas box. And my thing was, if I spent no money until you're able to buy it, and then maybe buy it on their layaway thing, I might do that. But I already broke it because likely makeup had really fun new blushes, so I bought some. Alrighty, so we are going again into Nocturnal, and then we will look at our next question. Just gonna grab some here, and then just tap on a little. This is going to be a variance. Yes, nice. That's what I wanted. Okay, so our third question is, which celebrity would you choose for your best friend? Wow, that's interesting. No, she didn't specify alive or no longer with us. Unfortunately, my favorite actor of all time passed away last year in a tragic accident. I used to always joke when I was a kid, or from when I was a teenager when I discovered him until he passed away, people would be like, if you could have anything in the world, what would you want? And it was $1 million, a brand new car, and Julian Sands naked. That was my quote since I was probably 17. And yes, and he's like one of my favorite actors. So I would have loved to have been one of his best friends. His best male friend I know was John Malkovich, but I would have loved to be friends with the family. I would have loved, yes. He was just intelligent, kind-hearted, loved to garden. He was very sporty, which I'm not, but, and he always had very fun, quirky, weird movies. Loved it. And then Warlock, though, being my favorite. He was quite evil in there. Cary Grant would be another one that I would have loved to have been friends with. Wow, so Deborah Kerr. But if we want to go that's alive, who would I like to, celebrity I would like to be friends with? Stella and Julian Assange. I would like to be in their friend group. I love intellectuals. I love reading nonfiction, watching documentaries. Then Julian is amazingly intelligent. His wife is so strong with everything they've gone through, so I wouldn't mind being friends with them. And then if you wanted to talk music or something like that, I would like to be best friends with Nick Rhodes from Duran Duran. So there you go. Yeah. There we go. So there is our second shade. So it doesn't really answer your question as to just one, but there are some people. There are a few people there that would people that I would like to be friends with that are classified as famous. So that's really pretty. There's just a little bit of gradation between the two colors. They are pretty similar, but just enough that I think it just added a little something to the look. So I really like that. Fourth question. So we're going to pick our next color, and then we will do our fourth question. So our next color, I think we are going to go with keeping it bright. I really do like the shade in here that is called Camouflage, but I think we're going to go towards a bit brighter. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to go back into this palette, and I'm going to go into the shade that's called Guilty Pleasure, and that would be that shade right there. I think will be my next one, and then I have one more matte, and then we'll look at shimmers. I want a slightly smaller brush, not that this one's huge or anything. Alrighty, so now we're going to go into Guilty Pleasure. And then our fourth question is, and this is the last of the Manuela questions, and there are mine. If you could wear only one color for the rest of your life, which one would you choose? Alrighty, so it depends on what you mean. If she meant clothes or she meant eyeshadow or makeup. So now, if it comes to clothes, black, and more black. I love the color black. Since I've done pinup, I do have a lot of since I did pinup, I do have a lot of brighter clothes in my closet, but I also still, even via pinup, do have a lot of black clothing. I used to be very goth, shoegazer alternative. Always been a big fan of this shade black. So if it comes to clothing, if I could only ever wear one color, it would be black. If it would come to eyeshadow, then it would be green. As we know, it's always a struggle for me to use any other color. But green would be, for eyeshadow, my favorite color. If we wanted to talk lipstick, red. Blush would be hard because I do like me a good orange, which goes with green, so let's call it orange. But if we want to say my favorite color of all time, black. I know some people say black or white really aren't colors. But here we are. Black is a staple. It's easy to wear, easy to mix, and you can get in various shades of black. Blue blacks, pitch black, kind of like almost looking like they're slightly gray. So there we go. Yeah, I'm liking that. Alrighty, let's quickly, because it's not going to take long to finish this. So we're going to go to the first of my questions, and it says, if you can only own one kind of makeup item, what would it be? So would it be eyeshadows, lipsticks, or whatever? For me, I think like the most important thing is to have really good skincare. I've been really focusing on that. I would say heavily the last 5 or so years. I wish I had done it a little bit longer. I had fits and spurts where I did skincare. I wish I was consistent the whole time around. Maybe I just wouldn't have as many maybe little age spots starting that I'm trying to use concealer on. But if I can only wear one thing, that's the toughest thing, because I think eyeshadow looks really good, and if you can really bring out your eyes, the windows to the soul. But then sometimes, like this morning, when you have a really nice base and a really blushy cheek, that really blushy cheek looks nice. So I think it depends on your skin. So if you're having a really good skin day, I would think a nice blushy cheek would look good. But if I could only have one thing, I do like a good lip color, and a good lip color is good too. But then again, just having a nice shiny chapstick and keeping your lips healthy are good. So I'm going to say eyeshadow. I'm going to say that if I could only have one makeup item, type of makeup item, it would be eyeshadow. When the amount of palettes that I have, well, I do have a lot of lipstick too, but the amount of palettes I have would bear that to fruit. Okay, so now we're going to do one more shade of green, and I think of this one of matte green. We're going to go back into Maneater, so I'm going to kind of share in my back and forth here. So we're going to use the shade called Wild, so that's that a nice bright one there, and that's what we're going to use for the inner corner. I'm going to use the same brush, the small brush again, to get it nicely in there, and then we will do our bottom lash line. So let's see here. For question number 6, we have current favorite song. I always like to always say that the 80s, you know, since the 80s and 90s was the best music. But when you dig around, there are a lot of great artists out there. Kind of newer artist. The last few years, I've been really into Queen Herbie. I think she's absolutely fantastic. There's been quite a few new artists that I have been, ooh, this is looking really good, that I've been really, really into. But one of my favorite bands of all time, they're releasing a new album, but they've released 2 singles so far. And let me just get the title because my memory is bad. But which one are the 2 that I like? I think I'm going to go with Cognitive Dissident. Yes, from the 2 singles so far are amazing. I think it's in August. I cannot wait for the rest of the album. So I've been actually playing the two songs that they've released over and over. If I'm playing I have a couple different playlists. I have a new playlist where it's all the new recent stuff that I've been listening to. And then I have a playlist of things that I like to play over and over again, a slightly smaller one. And every time I come to these 2 songs, I'll play them each at least twice, if not 3 times. But Matt is very political if you're trying to stay out of politics, which I do most of the time in conversations and stuff. But I do when I was younger, because I was a big fan of REM, and my staff used to laugh at sometimes I'd be listening to something. It's like, oh no, it's time for Manuela's soapbox rock. So. But there we go. But yes, I am very, very much enjoying the new 2 singles from the Here we go, and that is super pretty. Alrighty, I don't know what shimmer yet I want on the lid, so let's do bottom lash line. And then for the bottom lash line, I'm just going to do the last color that we used. So we're going to use a little bit of Wild up front, and then we're going to use the shade from the Cup or Cone from BH on the rest there. Ooh, the seagulls are going crazy out there. I have a river not far from me, and they seem to like to hang up here. I don't know. All right, now a little bit of copper cone. Okay, bottom lash line completed. Now let's go with our next question. Oh, this one is pretty easy. So for it is coffee or tea. For the inner corner, I think I'm going to use one thing out of the green spectrum, but it does have a green shift. I'm going to use the shade here that's kind of Untamed. You can see it's white, but it does have a little bit of a green to it. So we're staying within the green. It's just not one of the green shimmers. So we're going to get total green shimmers. Words are hard. It's coffee. I really like, funny enough, favorites black coffee or black iced coffee, no sweetener, no whatever. But sometimes if I'm feeling that I want it a little bit creamier with a shot of soy milk or, well, soy milk because it is a nice more, I've been drinking a lot of coconut milk because it has no carbs in it. I'm trying to, certain things are bugging my body. But soy is really nice and kind of floofy. So if I want a little bit more creamier texture, then sometimes I have an iced coffee with a shot of that. My favorite is the Starbucks Nitro Brew. Oh my gosh, not all the places carry them, but when I do, it doesn't matter. It could be the dead of winter. If I see Nitro Brew, that's in my person. I do like a good latte as well. But right now, when it's summer, the black iced coffee is my jam. But I do like a good tea. I always have 3 or 4 different teas in my cupboard. When I was a teenager, I drank crap tons of it. But as an adult, I have to say, definitely coffee. But if I'm stressed, a good peppermint tea is good. But, yeah, all right, I like that. So now let's see, what do we want to do for a shimmer before we go to our final question, which is also another easy one. But I was trying to do questions that weren't really too much makeup related, but a little bit of makeup because that's what we're here for. All right, so let's look at shimmers here. So we've got so many good choices with the green ones. We want something a little bit more banging. We have Endangered and a Maneater. We want something that's a little bit more subtle, old school shimmer. We do have the shade that's called a Jungle here. If you want a topper, I think this one that's called Claws also has a bit of a greeny yellow tinge, not far from the other one. So those could be some options there. But we did use our inner corner from here, so maybe we want to use something from a Pistachio, since we've been nicely going back and forth. Usually I seem to lean heavier to one palette or another. But then we've got a couple, like this one here I think is more of a normal type shimmer. These ones a little bit darker and intense. This one looks really nice. The Dessert. And then Sweet Life is a little bit more, if I did a more grungy look, like looking the grungiers out of there. So I think what we're going to do is let's try a Dessert. This one is nice and light, and I think that would look really nice tacked on the lid. I'm going to try it just with the finger first, because I think I just want to nicely tap that on there. And the last question is sweet or savory? That is also a very easy, savory. My body does not like sugar at all. I like it. It does not like me. Not to say I don't occasionally enjoy a plant-based ice cream. If I see a black sesame plant-based ice cream, I'm on it. But, oh yeah, that looks good. Just to, just lightly without taking away from all the other colors. I did bring a spray, but this one doesn't really need it. It just needs a little light touch with the phalanges, and you are golden. But I am a savory person. It was funny, when I was younger, sometimes I think I really thought I was craving something that was sweet, but then I would have something like a piece of chocolate or ice cream or something and be like, I still feel like something sweet. And then I would eat something salty instead and the cravings would go away. So I'm definitely more of a savory person. I think I'd rather have a popcorn or chips if I was picking. Not to say that I do not like a good dark chocolate, but yeah. I'm definitely more a savory person. Like I said, chips, popcorn. I like these ones. They come from India, but one of the brands here I think make them as well. But they look almost like cheesies, like the hard ones, like the Hawkins ones, thinner, but they're no cheese in them. But they're very spicy. I already threw out the bag, or I would get the name of them. So good. They usually only come out around this time of year for a few of the different celebrations. Spicy goodness. So I really like those. Okay, so there's our questions answered. I'm going to finish up and come back for final thoughts. See you in a sec. There we go, a final look completed. I used a little bit of this JD Glow liner. I wish, had I known I'd like these so much when they were doing their closing out sale, I would have bought all the colors they had left. Really do like this liner. And then for lips, I got from Lovelace Cosmetics, my favorite kind of like Halloween-y, kind of more neutrally orangey shade. I really do like this, and I love these palettes. Like I said, I had wanted this one for so long. I probably got at least a year after all the hype was over, but I do still love it. And of course, Arrtitude Cosmetics. Who doesn't love Arrtitude Cosmetics? Like I said, they've got something new coming. My pocketbook, but there we go. So that was that one. Oh yeah, we didn't look at the inside of that one again, and there's the inside. So there we go. That is my monthly collab for August with the lovely Makeup Therapy, my Name Twin. And this is the look we created. We answered 8 questions, and there we go. If you liked this video, please put a like, comment, and subscribe, and maybe even hit that notification bell. If you don't know what to comment, just kind of to help the algorithm a little bit, why don't you leave me a lipstick emoji, and don't forget to follow Makeup Therapy. As always, behave, make good choices, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye.